I'll never forget Dr. Kiltz walking out and coming to see me afterwards and just shaking my hand and being like, I feel good about this. And
that was the one that worked.
This was the one that worked.
Yeah. I woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and I really had to use the bathroom, and I was like, I'll just take a test now. And I took it and it was positive, and I was trying so hard to be quiet because I knew my husband was sleeping in the other room and I didn't want him to know. Don't give up. Like, I know sometimes it's easier to just give up, but like I said before, have a strong support system and they will help you through anything and everything. We met on October 20th, 2017 in Nashville, Tennessee. We were both down there on trips with our friends, and our friends just started hanging out.
So I had gone to the bar, and her and her friends were doing a line dance on the bar, and I just told my buddy, like, hey, I'm gonna buy her a drink. He's like, no way, she's out of your league. And sure enough, I went up and bought him a penalty shot instead, where they pull him up there and dump water on him and everything like that, and she had kind of pulled me over to block the water from getting on me, and then next thing I know, we couldn't be separated.
Like a month later, he found me on social media and asked if he could come to West Virginia from Indiana and take me on a date.
So every weekend for, I think, pretty well 6 months straight, I drove from Indiana to West Virginia to spend the weekend with her, and then I'd leave West Virginia at like midnight after not going to sleep. On Sunday, I'd drive straight to work.
We actually went back to Nashville for one of his best friend's birthdays, and we were walking to dinner with all of our friends, and he stopped at the place where we had met right in front and just grabbed my hand and pulled me back around and got down on one knee and asked me in front of all of our friends in front of the place that we met. We were supposed to get married in May of 2020, but that was during COVID, and it was right when they put the limit on how many people could gather in an area. So we rescheduled to July 11th of 2020 and got married in Linton, which is where my husband is from. Honestly, for a while, I didn't think that I wanted kids, but the longer Jacob and I were together, we talked about baby names like most couples do. I just decided I would stop taking birth control, and we weren't really actively trying, but we weren't preventing, and we just thought that it would happen, and it definitely took longer than what we expected, and it didn't go the route that we thought it was gonna go.
So we started trying pretty quickly, and then what was it, probably 9 months in that we realized there was probably an issue?
It was 9 months, yeah. We tried for 3 months, and like I said, I did a hormone workup, everything was fine. And then at about 6 months, we tried Clomid and Letrozole, and then around 9 months is probably when Dr. Sackman did the HSG procedure and saw that my tubes were blocked. He was like, I'll refer you to my friend in Indianapolis who's a fertility specialist and see what he has to say. And that's when I went and saw Dr. Henry in Indianapolis.
He was the main specialist for Indiana for fertility, one of the most well-known guys. And talking with him, even with a friend's discount through Dr. Sackman, it was insanely expensive, upwards of $40,000 what it was going to cost just for one shot. And we were just like, man, I don't know if we can afford to do that. And we do it once and it doesn't work, what are we going to do then? We definitely can't afford to do it twice. And at that point, we were just like, are we going to be able to have kids? Is that even an option for us now?
So, like I said, I am an OBGYN nurse practitioner, and coincidentally, one of my patients had gotten pregnant with twins through CNY Fertility, and her and I started talking about it, and I had told her about my recent discovery that I was going to need to do IVF to get pregnant, and she told me about CNY and how easy the process was and how you don't have to have a referral, that you can just get on their website and sign up for a consultation. She told me how quick everything was and that she had a really good experience, and then she told me about how much it costs, and I was like, hey, I think that we can like manage that. Like, I'll talk to my husband, and I literally went home that day and told him about it, and he was like, let's look into it. And I got on their website and filled out a consultation, and I think I got in like a month and a half.
It was very welcoming, especially like hearing like the procedures and stuff that you offered and how much money it was going to be saving. Like I said, we got quoted like a friends and family discount almost, and it was going to be upwards of $40,000. So hearing that we could do a retrieval and transfer for $4,900 or $5,000 equivalently.
So our first consultation was CNY. She looked over my history. It was a nurse practitioner. I can't think of her name right now off the top of my head, but she was really nice. She went over all of my labs, went over my HSG, and she said that we would do the mini IVF protocol. They shipped me my meds overnight, and we started them, and we went to CNY Syracuse October 31st. No, we went there October 28th for our first egg retrieval in 2021.
Obviously, walking into that facility, everything's like warm and vibrant and welcoming. Very cool building, and everyone's so nice.
The nurses, the doctors, I mean, everyone was amazing, but because I was very nervous about going under anesthesia. But after our egg retrieval, since we were planning to do a fresh transfer, so we decided to make a trip out of like going up there. And after the egg retrieval, we were on our way down to New York City to spend a weekend in Times Square. And they called us on our way down there and told us that they had retrieved 10, only 3 were mature, and only 1 fertilized. And I was bawling, but they said, it's okay, you have 1 day 3 embryo, and just remember, 1 is all it takes. And they were like, we're still gonna do a fresh 3-day transfer on October 31st, so we'll see you then. And I got off the phone, and again, I was bawling. And my husband was like, why are you upset? And I was like, I don't know, I was hopeful. We got 10. I thought that, at least half would make it. And he was like, well, it only takes 1. He said, maybe God only gave us 1 because that's the one that we're supposed to have. He wanted to make sure that we were gonna pick that one. And he's always optimistic. I tried to go into it very optimistically. We had Dr. Corley for our transfer, and he was amazing. We did our transfer, and after our transfer, Dr. Corley was like, would you like me to pray with you? And I was like, I would love that. And he sat there and prayed with us. And then on day 9, I woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I really had to use the bathroom, and I was like, I'll just take a test now. And I took it, and it was positive, and I was trying so hard to be quiet because I knew my husband was sleeping in the other room, and I didn't want him to know. And it was positive. I mean, it was a faint positive, but it was a positive.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Come on, pink.
Bubbling.
Waves through her long soft hair, faces just stop and stare, catching no light. So I hold you close, no matter where you go, through all the rain and snow, I'll be close behind. And I hold on, these threads won't come undone if If you're worn down, I'll carry you home. Holes in my shoes, walking in lines we drew. You said you're just passing through. Now 6 years have gone, so I hold on. These threads won't come undone. If you're worn down, I'll carry you home.
No, just like that one.
Okay.
Daddy, look what we're painting.
Yeah, that's awesome, baby.
Good job.
Not that one.
All right, Mommy's gonna do Brody's feet first. We said that we wanted to try again when Briar turned 2. Like, I don't know why, but we said we wanted to wait till she was potty trained. That definitely didn't happen. She was not potty trained till after he was born. But we said we wanted to wait until she was at least 2. But 6 months after Briar was born, because we only got one fertilized embryo with her retrieval, 6 months after she was born, we went ahead and did another retrieval.
And so we're sitting here overly confident, I feel like, because we're like, oh man, did it once, worked once, it's going to be easy for us. And then it wasn't.
3 more egg retrievals, 4 transfers, a diagnostic laparoscopy, a DNC, a bilateral salpingectomy to remove my tubes because the doctor that I work with was worried about hydrosalpinx. And after I had that surgery, that's when we went in for our 4th transfer. And after that one, we had a successful one.
I just thank you. You made our dreams come true.
We shared some of the greatest moments of our life all because of CNY, and there's nothing we could do or say to repay them for anything. It's a lot of injections, and it's hard on your body, it's hard on your mind, your emotional health, like your relationship, like, I don't know, it's very stressful. And that's why I said, like, when I had both of my kids, like when they were finally here, like it was like I could finally breathe. Like it just reassured me that everything that I did, that he did too, everything that we did was worth it. So, I mean, 387 injections to get everything that you've ever wanted, it's 100% worth it.